Hello. I think the captions work. I think the microphone works. Let's do it. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little nervous. I have anxiety. It's been a while. I haven't streamed in a while. And I haven't cooked in a while. And I'm hoping everything works on both of those accounts. Let me say hi. Let me say hello. Hold on. I'm gonna scroll up here. I'm like trying to look. I can't even. Oof. Today's gonna be rough. Twinderella, welcome in. Happy a Monday. Happy Monday. So Fluff, hello. Hello. Robbie, welcome in. Good to see you. Robbie, I feel like I saw you in chat all day yesterday. I was lurking almost all day on the food and drink raid train. From probably about 11 a.m. Eastern until like 11 p.m. Whenever Saren raided. It was fun. Y'all did a great job. The tacos looked amazing. I hope they were good. Adorkable, thank you for your subscription. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Cybor K Chop, welcome in. Happy Monday. Woma, welcome. Good to see you. Twinderella, thank you for your tier 1 resub, 34 months. 30. It's not a multiple of 6. I was doing math in my hand. You couldn't see it. It was secret down here, where the mouse is. So Fluff, I'm surprised to see you today. I am surprised to be perceived today. I am having a lot of trouble with scheduling this next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And I'm just basically, I was like, well, it's Monday. We're going to try to do an easy one. We're just going to cook today. I'm going to make risotto. It'll be done when it's done. We're going to do like an old school, an original Eat It Dad stream starting about around 5 p.m. Eastern, which is when I used to stream for the first like 2 years of streaming. And we'll be again tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be like a normal time. We have Obi joining us. So far, everything does look like it's working, Woma. I agree with you. It does. It does. I tested it I updated everything. Everything. I updated all the apps, all the programs. I did some cable management. When we had someone house sitting, and so I took all of the streaming stuff down and put it away. And now I spent 3 hours today setting it back up. I usually don't take it down. It usually just lives here on the counter. But it was not here. So I think here's hoping it works. So I had we all had a wonderful trip. It was great. No big fights, no big disagreements. 10,000 plus steps every day. It was great. I'm sure I'll talk more about it. Today I'm making risotto because Gwen had a risotto while we were there that she really liked. And so we're going to make risotto. I'm going to do a lentil salad tomorrow that I really liked. That was a thing that I picked apart with my fork and picked out all the ingredients too and talked to the chef about what was in it. So, yes, Cyborg, thank you for your resub. I appreciate you very much. Darlene, welcome in. Happy Monday. I'm doing great. Shayna, welcome. Good to see you. I hope you have had a lovely past couple weeks. The cats are big. They're noticeably bigger, but they're still very much kittens. I'm sure we'll see all three of them on stream today at some point or another. No, that's not going to work. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Luke, quit fucking with it. Sita, welcome in. Happy Monday. Gwen and Calvin just got home. It's going to be a little noisy in here. That's okay because I haven't actually started anything. There's nothing on the stove. Where were you while you were on break? We were in Paris, France. Bonjour. It was fun. We had a large family vacation with Gwen's sister, her husband, our niece, who's 16, Gwen's brother, his friend, obviously Gwen and Calvin and myself.
Hello.
Calvin is here. Hello. Thank you for the hype train, y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, go to the corner store today.
You got Rita's instead of the corner store? You got Rita's all over your shirt, too?
Oh, damn, burn.
Hopefully that washes out, because it's red. We'll see. Slinko, welcome in.
I got 5-layer gelati.
5-layer gelati. What were your layers? What layers of gelati did you get? Gelati, by the way, is water ice and soft serve ice cream.
But no, it's not in Philly, it's water ice. So on the bottom, I got chocolate custard.
Okay.
And then Swedish fish ice cream. Then vanilla custard. Then cotton candy.
Fuck.
When I said Swedish fish ice cream, I meant
water ice, yeah. Got it.
Chocolate, Swedish fish,
vanilla, cotton candy, water ice, and with custard on the top.
Cool. And now it looks brown.
That's because it's chocolate.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I guess it's diarrhea now.
Well, we'll talk. I'll ask you all about camp over dinner, and I'm sure you want a little time to chill now before karate. So, enjoy. Will you empty your lunch? No.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Slim Thick Travels. Welcome in. It's good to have you. We're just getting started today. Y'all had a good timing. What am I making? Risotto. with asparagus and corn and mushrooms.
Asparagus risotto was my suggestion.
Pick the mushrooms out of it.
Do you not want mushrooms in it? Okay, we'll figure it out. The fungus. It's true. Let me scroll back up. Something travels. What were you traveling? Were you indeed traveling today? What was stream for you today? Welcome in. It's nice to have y'all. Jamie, hello. Thank you for the resub. Good to see you. Welcome in. I want to say welcome back, but like y'all didn't go anywhere. I was the one that left. Okay, let me scroll back up. Yes, cats are larger, slightly larger, not that much larger. We had an Obi on stream already. Once today. This is Obi. Yeah, he's big. He's bigger. He's still the biggest cat. Master splits. Philly cheesesteak risotto. Philly cheesesteak risotto would be quite good. This is Elsie. Here's Elsie. Elsie's back. Elsie is
Being loved.
yes, being loved. What is that, Gwen asks? That in question that she's pointing to is this. This is broth, vegetable broth for. It's for the risotto.
It looks kind of like
I made.
Goodbye, I'm leaving now.
Okay, bye.
These from
Not yet.
like
These other people. It looks like what, Cal?
like bear or something.
The cheese. You're gonna have to be more descriptive than that.
Bread on the bread.
The cheese that you spread on the bread.
Still gonna need more information than that.
I think
Here,
but
Brie?
common bronze.
I don't know the names of the cheeses.
the one that looks like that, yeah, Camembert.
Sure.
Overburn.
Good. So this is probably the least entertaining thing y'all have watched today. Because you can't see them. They can't see you, either of you. I'm interacting with two other people in the same room as me who are not on camera. I think you can hear them though, so that's good. At least they're audible. What?
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 What did you say? What did you say? Gwen says we made it better. That's objectively probably very true. Okay, we're gonna get back on track. It's a good thing we haven't started cooking yet. Generally. Phyllis, why did my hello get deleted? I don't know. Did I see a hi. Does the dad not work? I do see that it got deleted. I don't know. Oh, I think Sofuf deleted it because it was right next to a message that was about buying viewers, which we don't need to do that. Okay, we got the last cat coming in for like completion. For completion.
He was sleeping on the bed.
Yeah, he looks like he was sleeping. Doesn't he look like he was sleeping?
Okay, I'm gonna go put him back.
That's Ash. That's Calvin. The cat is Ash. Okay. Yes, Velas, your chat was deleted because it was right next to one advertising paid viewers. It was unintentional. Désolé, as we say in France. Mrs. H, thank you for your resub. I appreciate you. Mrs. H, I hope you had a good stream yesterday. I was, I forget where it was. We were lurking. I was lurking that you raided into. But I saw y'all. I saw you in chat yesterday. Okay. Fellas says, it scared the heck out of me. I thought I might have said something really super vile or something by accident with a copy and paste or something. What other channels are you chatting in? I want to know. Super vile's okay, generally speaking. Fellas, I did go on vacation. We went to Paris, France, with a large group of people. It was great. Fired for the day. Listen, if you hadn't deleted the chat, I was gonna like engage with them. Someone, I forget what channel I was looking in yesterday, and some like, oh, it was Kanara's channel, and someone chatted and said something that was against her rules, and I was like, one of her moderators deleted it, and I was like, I probably would have engaged with that. Very bad channels, very good channels. Gotta watch that copy and paste though, for sure. It helps that I don't chat ever, so I don't usually fall victim to that. It was a good vacation. We did a lot. I'm still sort of processing all of the things. Mix, welcome in. I did chat yesterday. I was actually, well, it's because it was a raid train, and because it was the food and drink raid train, and because it was like the food and drink club raid train, and because I one of the founding advisors for the food and drink club, not that I felt like compelled to be there, but I wanted to be there, and I did want to like chat and say hi at least to the people who were participating in the raid train. I was actually going to stream yesterday for a little while, just like I was gonna do a stream of like setting up all of this again, setting up all like stream stuff, but I was like, I don't want to take away from what these folks are doing today. I know you're teasing, but I felt fellas, I felt like I extended myself a bit yesterday. I chatted in like multiple people's channels and said more than just hello. So it was a lot. But Calvin was out for almost Calvin was away out of the house from like 12:30 until like 19:30, 7:30 p.m. For those of y'all who don't run on 24-hour time, we all run on 24-hour time. For those of you who don't internalize 24-hour time numbers. Anyway, what was I saying? He was gone. I had not touched my computer or laptop at all for 2 weeks, and I had a lot of stuff that I wanted to do, which I did. So it was good. Mix, I missed you too. I missed y'all too. I was excited to come back and like get ready for streaming. That's part of what I did yesterday, was like look at the calendar and like put things on the calendar for the next 2 weeks. This week and next week, our schedule is locked in. Locked in as much as things can get locked in, and we are starting school the week after that, so I don't really know what that is going to look like. Actually, no, we have this week, then next week, then one more week, and then we start school the last week in August. So I've got my schedule down basically until for the next 2 weeks plus one, and then I'm hopefully, knock on wood, cross my toes, cross my fingers, whatever, going to be able to settle back into like a school year streaming routine, as I have been doing for the past couple of years. As y'all who've been here during these seasonal changes, specifically in August, January, and June are my 3 hardest, most difficult months to do streaming, because those are transitional months. August is transitioning back to the school year. January is transitioning back to the school year from Christmas break, and then June is obviously summer transition. So those are always tough. So I am back. I'm, I had 2 weeks off. I'm working on a schedule. I have some specific stuff that I'm putting on the schedule. Some things are locked in. I'm working toward doing some more IRL streams, some like specific IRL streams. We have one coming up next week on the 13th, which should be super, super fun. I'm actually really excited about. We're going to go see the folks over at Bennett Compost. That's a better side of it. Bennett Compost. Who you may know from such things as the compost bucket that I talk about fucking all the time. We're going to go over to the Philadelphia Wholesale Produce Market at some point, which is a giant refrigerated warehouse in South Philly that sells wholesale produce to the entire city and the Mid-Atlantic region. We're going to get a special tour over there. We're going to go to the Kennett Square Mushroom Festival. I'm pointing at this as if you can see it. The weekend after Labor Day, we're going to go. Where else are we going to go? There was one other one. I forget. Anyway, so I'm working on some stuff. We're going to try to make some croissants at some point soon. I have something to chat about with Cookie Club, good things. Cookie Club's not going away, just FYI, like if in case anyone heard that, I was like, oh no. But we're gonna do something different with Cookie Club coming up. And so I'm like in planning mode. And that's a good thing because I'm excited about it. And I'm excited about streaming. TwitchCon's coming up in October. So it's gonna be a good fall. On stream, on the internet, on this little, very small, specific corner of the internet. It's going to be good, hopefully, and, hang out and avoid the horrors of the world for a little while on stream. Because, anyway, but we're going to make risotto today. That's dinner. So we are going to cook today. And, yeah. Cinderella says a bunch of us kept running into each other in other streams and asking how we're going to survive without Lou. Well, I hope you did. I hope you all had a good 2 weeks. I had a very busy 2 weeks. It was weird being 6 hours ahead. And that was odd. A back to school cooking stream. Back to school cooking stream. That would be fun to do, like some cheap, easy dishes in a dorm room. What did y'all eat in college? We used to do a little game where we'd go to the grocery store and try to spend up to $50, but not more. Myself and my housemates would basically each try to spend $50 like every couple weeks at the grocery store, which usually meant we would eat. I don't even fucking remember what we ate in college. I ate at the dining hall a lot. And we ate pizza and wings a lot. Okay, risotto. Let's get out our ingredients. Wow. 30 minutes. Okay, cool. I looked down. I thought I'd been live for longer, which is good. I actually didn't plan on starting stream today until now. Actually, stream is scheduled for 17:15, which, if you know anything about how I operate, that means according to the schedule, I wouldn't even have started yet. What did everyone get at the food bank? Yes. Yeah, Mix, I don't think we went to the food bank, but I do remember taking takeout containers and rinsing them out and taking them to the dining hall on the years that we had a meal plan at school, which was kind of fun. Yeah, back to school stuff. Who was it? You know what? It's not gonna. Tompkins bucket's a little empty there. It's not going to come to me, but there was an author, a cookbook author who I really liked, who had a recent cookbook within the past like 3 or 4 years, all about like inexpensive like college. It was focused on like college kids. So Flips, you did not go to college either. I did, and I think it was helpful in the sense of like transitioning to adulthood. I think it was helpful in that sense. I think it was helpful maybe in a sense of like having obligations without consequences. But I was a journalism major and I don't do that, so Mixed winter food prep. Excellent. What is winter food prep for you? So you what is a water truck? I don't understand when you say you got a water truck. Do you mean like not like you're not on well water? Do you have like a cistern? I had to order 2,100 gallons of water. Okay. Mix, I thought of you as we were traveling because I was in a plane flying over where you are. And I was like, oh, I wonder if they're down there. We did. We flew like right over, which was interesting. Something Travels, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for the raid today. I hope your meal prep went as you hoped. I love a good meal prep stream. I hope you have cleaned up and are ready to move forward with the rest of your day. And you're welcome to come back anytime. And I know I didn't actually introduce myself when y'all came through because there were people sort of immediately entering my environment, which I usually is a bit distracting for me, as one would imagine. When my friend comes back and forth from Ireland, we air high five. Excellent. I did not have internet on the flight. I mean, I might have. I didn't try to connect to the internet. What did I do? I read several hundred pages of a book that Trindrella sent me. That was my trip reading The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That was a good like vacation read. I'm not finished it yet. I am on book 3 though. Mix, I do love that. You know what I love? I remember there was an advertising agency that did a billboard. I think it was in London, and it was one of those like digital billboards, and like a little girl walks basically like a plane takes off from Heathrow, little like animated or whatever. It's like a white billboard, and then someone just like walks onto this screen and points at the plane as it's going over, and then it has like the flight information next to it, and it's an ad for like, I don't know, British Airways or something like that. So that makes me think of your description here. One of your favorites, fellows? It is my first time reading them. And it was because I had said that I had not ever read them, and a week or two later, a book arrived in my PO box. So I'm reading it. And 2 ears of corn. Yeah, I'd never read them before. I've never seen the movies either. I'm like familiar with the title, right? But I am not. I was otherwise unfamiliar with the rest of it. I hope you know where your towel is. Well, I understand the reference now. There's several towels right behind me here. I like the part of the one book where he's like sucking on the corner of the towel for nutrients, and I'm just like, makes me feel barfy. This yields 4 servings. I think we should double this. I only have 1 leak, but that's okay. It's a big leak, and whatever. 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, so 4, because here's the thing about risotto. 4 servings is going to be enough for tonight. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 servings will be enough for tonight. And then I think we're going to want some leftovers. And I'm going to use the Drew memorial pot here. We don't need to memorialize Drew. He's still with us, but it is his pot. We're memorializing the fact that he doesn't have it anymore. Okay. It also calls for 6 cups of stock. How many cups are these? 4, right? 4 cups. 4, 8, 12. I need to melt this before anything else because you can't use frozen risotto. It's not gonna, or you can't use frozen stock. It's not gonna work. So let's do that. Okay, hold on. Comfort read mix. Yeah, and I got the version that I had has all of them. It's like one large book. It's the one large book, which I appreciated. Black Rose Pixie, welcome in. Black Rose Pixie, I was lurking on your entire stream yesterday, and I have to tell you, I just love your vibe. I was like, oh my God, I'm so relaxed. You have such a lovely voice. Just a good flow. It was amazing. I was like sitting and doing work, and you rated, and I was like, no, don't. So anyone who's like hanging out here, I would encourage you to please go follow Black Rose Pixie. Professional baker, but also a really, really nice place to hang out on the internet. Welcome in. And yeah, thanks for doing the whole raid train was so amazing yesterday. I was really like happy about it. I want people to relax and chill. I kind of say that for myself. I'm like, I want people to be able to relax, but like sometimes I just feel I don't feel chaotic necessarily. I feel what do I feel? I feel hurried sometimes. Mix the Fiona of our tapestries. I've not heard of that. We're gonna add 2 more cups of this. So 4, 8, 12, 14 cups of vegetable stock in here. I don't know if we'll use all of the vegetable stock, but we're gonna melt it now because you gotta stir it into the risotto. You can't just like I can't what the hell am I gonna do with 4 cups of frozen stock? Anyway, let's get the lid for that pot also. That way it heats up quicker. I'm gonna contain the heat. Contain the heat within the pot. Okay, so we have our cornstalk pen. Oh, damn, I took all of my pens out of my little thing. I was so nervous about not having a pen when we were on our trip that I just gathered up every single pen I could find in the entire house and took it with me. I probably had like 15 or 20 pens in my bag. It starts in downtown Toronto. We do like a Toronto novel. I like Toronto in general. Am I saying it correctly? Toronto? I was explaining that to someone else the other day. I'm always losing my pens. Well, I often will just buy more pens whenever I see the pens that I like, which is the Papermate Flare Medium in the color black. And I will generally just buy them when I see them. 3. Oh, you know, I should check that I have enough rice. Some of these things I might not have as much. Might not have enough of. I think this is 2 cups of rice. I got this rice at De Bruno Brothers. This is like supposed to be good rice. Oh, we have a cat. There's a cat at my feet. Calgary. Calgary. Nope, hold on. But no. Ash has decided to come investigate. Ash. We have a rule, okay? Oh, he's purring. He literally just started purring. Pause. The rule, Ash, is that while we're cooking, you cannot be on the counter, okay? And we're gonna try to keep that because as much as I'm getting used to your fur again, okay? We didn't have cat fur for a long time. And I kind of loved that. Sorry. But now I'm covered in cat fur again, 100% of the time. But I don't want to eat it. I don't want to eat it. And I don't want your gross feet and filthy mouth near my food. Okay? Deal? We all knew one was going to end up staying. Mix, all 3 of them are staying. We adopted all 3 of them, which I knew was going to happen. No, I'm not kidding. Ash, stop it. No. Okay, we got to move the stool away from the counter. No, I'm not kidding. We now have 3 cats again. Sorry, I said again. We used to have 2. Bless you. Yeah. Listen. Exactly. I said to Gwen, you know, she was like, I really like them. And I was like, listen, we're not keeping one of them. We're keeping all of them, or we're keeping none of them. Because they're siblings. We've had them since they were on like day 2 of life. They were bottle fed together. They were housed together. Like, they literally lived in a box together for several weeks. We gotta, you know, I'm not gonna separate them. That feels monstrous to me. So now we have 3 cats. Went from 0 to 3. A bit abrupt, if you ask me, but it's okay. Also, they are how do I put this? They're clearly Gwen's. She is the one who is, like, generally speaking, the most interested in, not interested, that's not the right term. I'm interested in cuddling cats and, like, playing with them, and I'm interested in, like, the nice aspects of it. She's a bit more responsible for the, like, husbandry part of it, meaning, like, sorry, camera's a bit off. Meaning things like making vet appointments and litter box management, feeding, that kind of thing. Which, you know, just frankly, I'm not kind of as interested in. Let me wash my hands real quick. It's kind of fun. Nick, the thing with the thing with 3 is that they play together, right? So we used to have 2, and they were slightly different ages. So we had one who was 4 months older than the other one, and they were, like, just far enough apart that they didn't have they weren't like kittens together. These cats have all been kittens together, so they bite each other, they fight with each other, they play with each other. They don't have single kitten syndrome, which as I understood later, is a very, like, real thing. Like, they bite each other and they learn how to play and bite, and, like, hey, biting hurts, you know? But, like, if they don't grow up with another cat in the house, who do they bite? They bite you. And what do? You tell them no, and that means nothing to them. So it's been good because, like, these ones are not these 3 sort of are not bitey. They're cuddly, and then when they want to play, they play with each other. And instead of, like, attacking my feet, they attack each other, which is perfect. So we also approached this having had cats before and sort of knowing some of the things that we didn't like that we did with those cats. You know, the ways that they did and did not interact with Daisy, for example. And, you know, we're taking a better approach this time around. So, you know, Daisy enjoys them. I watched, you know, Daisy was laying on the bed today, and the cats were, like, jumping all over the bed. They were jumping over her, onto her, like, literally using her as, like, a springboard and bouncing off of her, and she did not care. Which is a huge difference from the relationship she had with our previous 2 cats, who she did not engage with at all, who did not like her, who were scared of her. So it's a very different, you know, things are very different, and we're kind of much more eyes open with these. And so it's good because I like cats. You know, I'm a cat person in general. I think I don't like getting bit. But we're kind of working, it's working a lot better. Oh my God. Yeah, Mix, the cadence of that. So did they, I feel like the kitten thing, it's like, you know, if they have another cat to bite and that cat sort of can be like, hey, that's too much. That's really important. It seems like if one of them, I think that with our previous cats, the older one was not doing any of the work was not doing any of the parenting work, which, you know, you shouldn't expect them to have to do that, just like humans. But, you know, that meant that our other cat sort of grew up and was a little bit more aggressive and, you know, liked to bite. 2 brain cells. Was he an orange cat? Obi, our orange cat. His name's Obi, like Obie, but their names all have roots in the color that they are. So his name is Obi because of Orange Boy. Megan, welcome in. Megan, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Doing well. Y'all, my friend Megan is in chat, fellow internet person. You can find her on the internet. That's some links that are just below the command Megan in chat. I hope those links still work. I think they do. Good to see you. Good to see you. It's been a busy August. I know you're in back to school season too. So I hope I say it's been a busy August like it isn't freaking August 4th. Avo, welcome in. And thank you. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since I've been online, but that was intentional. Not a sabbatical. It was not a unintended break. We went on vacation, and I did not stream while I was there. Avo, thank you. A very special boy. Mix, that's great. It's really nice when you get a good story out of your animals too. Megan, I'm glad you're back on the internet. I hope that's feeling good for you. I know sometimes I said right at the top of stream, I haven't streamed this is the first stream for me in 2 weeks because I was in Paris. And I was like, I started streaming. I was like, I don't know if I remember how to do this. I kind of forget. But we're getting back to it. We're learning. The links work so far. Thank you. Baker, welcome in. Good to see you. Baker, I think I saw you in a couple streams yesterday, hanging out. Thanks for supporting the food and drink raid train. How does it feel to be back? Well, today it feels good. Today's actually the first day where I feel like I am on Eastern Standard Time again. The first day we got back on Friday, landed at, and basically like got back into my house around 10 p.m. Went to bed at midnight. Or no, I went to bed at like 1. I woke up at 6 a.m. like without an alarm because my body was like, hey, it's noon, get up. And then the Sunday I did kind of the same thing. But today I'm like, I feel like I'm back. I feel like I'm back on track. Nick says, I missed where you went. Yeah, we went to Paris. Mostly all Paris except for one day. We went to an overnight trip to Bordeaux, a wine region where I felt deeply out of place. I am not. We don't have wine region in France kind of money. And we stayed somewhere that felt like I felt very out of place. It was the type of place where how do I say this tactfully? Maybe I shouldn't say it tactfully. It's the type of place where where well-heeled white ladies with starched collars do not yield a fucking inch when you walk by them. They don't even look at you. It's that type of place. And you know, where the people who work there attempt to be invisible and very apologetic. And I was like, oh God, we gotta get back to Paris. This is not good. I want to eat all the things Mick says. Invisibility, please. It's there was a lot of differences, and I came back to the US and was like, man, man, why? Should have overseen my visa, Amo. No. See, there's a whole something about going to prison in a foreign country that I'm just like, I'm all set with. Especially somewhere that has like a, you know, cameras everywhere and they can really just track where you are. I mean, the US has that too. But I was not going to do that. I was not. I am going to take these corn cobs and put them into the pot back there, though. Not that that's related to the what I'm talking about. There's a formality I'm not prepared to comply with. Yeah. It was a. I liked it because I'm a big fan of please and thank you, and the sort of like, that sort of like social contract. But yeah, it was definitely very different. There was a lot that I appreciated about it. Certain things I could have done without, but generally speaking, the fact that everyone's like polite and like not to a fault, and they don't, you know, not like they're. I couldn't tell if it was like genuine, right, or not. In some cases, but I think in general, it's nice if you're making an effort. The dress code apology mix, reasonable. I wore basically like shorts and a collared shirt every day, like a long sleeve button-down collared shirt, which I usually like to wear outside in the summer anyway, just because of the sun. I don't like to have like all sorts of sun on me. You good, Gwen?
Water bottle?
I can get that. Hold on. Okay, so we have how many minutes is our ad break now these days? We have a 3-minute ad break coming up in just a moment here. I'm gonna finish cutting up this corn, and then we're gonna take a quick break. For those of y'all who are new to the stream, we do a 3-minute break. We play a game of words on stream during that time. And if you're watching on Twitch, you're gonna get a few advertisements. If you're not a subscriber, if you are a subscriber, you're not gonna get any advertisements. You could also be a Twitch Turbo member. You could have gotten a gift sub, which I guess would make you a subscriber. But we're going to do that momentarily here. So just a heads up that that's coming, not to be surprised.
Hello.
What about all? Ready to go. We're gonna do that here in just a moment. I'm going to finish cutting this corn off, and in about 20 seconds, we're going to run an ad. When we get back, we're going to finish prepping all of our ingredients, and then we're going to make this risotto. Okay, corn is cut. We're going to go to this screen, and then we're going to go to this screen, and then we're going to play a game of words on stream. It's a good time to get up, get a drink of water if you need to, or whatever, to help yourself. We'll be right back. Here comes a 3-minute ad. Hang out for a moment. We'll be right back.
Hi, welcome to another edition of Commercials I Hate.
I am, in this moment, going to wash my hands. I'm going to load these few things in the dishwasher. And then, at that point, And we might be finished with the break. All right. We're getting, I feel like I'm getting back on track. This is good. We've had a that was an hour of stream. An hour of stream so far, and I feel good. I feel a little bit rusty, I'm not gonna lie. Not like bad rusty, but just a little bit like timing. Rusty. Timing insofar as I am now aware that the rest of stream is that I'm now aware that we're going to run over our time today. Not completely, but you know. Do I need to blanch? I think I need to blanch this asparagus, right? I'm going to need to blanch it before I put it in the risotto. So I think we'll do that next. I'm going to take a moment to actually like look at this ingredients list here. When half the stock has been added, stir in the corn. Okay, so this should take, it says about 30 to 40 minutes total to like stir. I guess I don't need, maybe I don't need to blanch the asparagus because I'm gonna make the asparagus in small pieces. Okay, that's fine. Talking to myself. And all right, yeah, I just need to get all my ingredients together and then we will like just cook. That's it. Yeah, we'll just cook. Okay. I need to remember to add this basil to here. Okay, if you are on Twitch, welcome back. I appreciate your patience. Thank you very much. Ads are not everyone's favorite, and I don't like them either, but they run regardless of whether I like them, and we just get to pick when they run. So, sorry, that's how it goes, and we're going to just kind of let that happen. There'll probably be at least one more ad break in this stream, possibly two, as we move through the dinner cooking process. But we have a couple more guesses here in this round. It's looking like a good one. The first round felt like a little warm up. Okay. We're getting to... We're going to do all the prep. Prepping everything. Prep everything is the goal. Oh, we don't want to log out. No, don't want to log out. Okay. Hey, good work, y'all. Very nice. Very nice. We have the corn prepped. As we were in the ad break, I was sort of mumbling to myself about the things, the ingredients. I was saying basically, I don't think that I need to cook I don't need to blanch the asparagus ahead of time because I think I'm going to add the asparagus with like 15 minutes or so. I'm going to add the asparagus a little bit after I've started cooking. So there's going to be a little additional, or about halfway through the cooking process, I'm going to add the vegetables, corn, asparagus, and mushrooms. I think they'll cook in the broth in that time as it simmers and is stirred. So I'm going to take a chance. We're going to take a chance on that. Because otherwise I was thinking like, oh, I got to blanch something, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to do that. I just want to prep my ingredients. 1 leek, white and light green parts only, finely chopped. Did I get the leek out? No, I did not. Here it is. White and light green parts, it says. which is that. Do I have a stock bag in my freezer? No, I don't. Y'all, the last week before we went on vacation, I was so proud of myself. I literally, not literally, because there's still some sauces and stuff in there, but I emptied everything out of the refrigerator. Like I really like used up everything that was in there. We had someone house sitting, coworker of Gwen's was house sitting for us, and I wanted to make sure that they had like, you know, a complete clean empty fridge before so that there wasn't like, you know, random leftovers and crap in there. Anyway, I was real proud of myself, but then we got back and I was like, oh, I don't have any food. Like literally there was nothing at all in the refrigerator. So did a little bit of shopping yesterday, and Saturday and Sunday. But we're slowly kind of getting back to having some stuff in the fridge. Went to the farmer's market, got all my vegetables, and then I got some ingredients just for meals this week. And we're gonna do more of like a full shop at some point. But I was really impressed with myself, if I'm being honest. Because generally there's like a bunch of leftovers and like stuff in the fridge. But I used up like all the cheese. I used up all the bread that was in there. I used up almost all the eggs that were in there. It was intense. I think my favorite meal that I made that week was a pizza bagels. Pizza bagels with the rest of the bagels, the leftover red sauce that was in there, a little bit of the harissa that I'd made, the rest of multiple different pieces of cheese that were in there, the rest of the pepperoni that was in there. There was one other topping, I forget what it was, but it was like, y'all would have been proud. It was very intentional. But like I said, then we came back and I was looking for like food on Friday night. We like came back, got back into the house, got Calvin into his bed, and was like, I'm kind of hungry. What do we have around? And the answer was nothing. Like literally nothing. The fridge was like completely empty. So it was something. Using all the cheese is impressive. It's crazy. Yeah, I was impressed with myself. It was very intentional. What were the meals that we had that week? Last week's meals were pizza bagels, egg sandwiches, dip dinner, quiche, hot dogs, and soup. And then my backup meal plan was pantry pasta if I really needed something else. So if a freezer food is super essential. Yeah, well, the quiche was like a freezer situation. Okay, the leek. We're finally, not finally, which is also accurate. Finely chopping the leek. Finely chopping the leek. So I'm making this risotto today because while we were on our trip, I think Gwen had risotto like 2 or 3 times, and there was an asparagus risotto that she really liked, and she's actually been asking me for risotto since before we went. So I'm like, okay, we'll let me get to that this week. And I'm also doing that because it's relatively an easy meal to make. It takes a little time, but it's the type of meal where like you get all your ingredients together and then you just kind of add them to the pot in the right order and stir until it's done. So I think, here's hoping, I'm gonna knock on wood here, that this is a good sort of reintroduction to streaming and cooking, because it feels like something that is not necessarily hard to mess up, but it's like when it's done, it's done. It's not baking. It's not anything super complicated. Lentil curry so far, amazing. I'm gonna make some lentils tomorrow. I have 2 recipes. Tomorrow's like a recipe development day, but I'm not doing it for any type of like committed work. I'm doing 2 recipes tomorrow, and one of them is a lentil recipe. I had multiple French lentil dishes over the past 2 weeks. Every chance I got, I ordered a salad, like a good salad. It was kind of the first thing I looked for on the menus wherever we went. I did not eat a single piece of beef while we were there, which in retrospect, I was like, maybe I should have. But I'd fish a bunch, lots and lots of just like vegetable stuff because it's summer and vegetables are just in and they're my favorite. So I had more of that. Mega, welcome in. Good to see you. Mega, I saw your name a bunch yesterday during the food and drink raid train. Good to see you. Angry Rook, welcome. You resort like 3 to 4 times a week. Well, please feel free to please feel free to offer suggestions if you are a seasoned risotto cook. I myself have not cooked risotto super often. I've made it a couple times, but not with any like real frequency. So I would be happy to take suggestions. I want to note that Gwen said that she likes when her risotto is more creamy and not soupy. So the goal today is creamy and not soupy. What do I think of corn nuts, Baker? I love corn nuts. I don't know if that's I don't know if you meant the cereal, in which case, like, meh, whatever. Wait, what's the cereal? Corn Pops. Sorry, Corn Pops. I do love Corn Pops. My grandfather used to eat Corn Pops. I remember those from when I was at his house. Anyway, I love corn nuts. They're one of my favorite snacks. They are hell on your teeth if you are like sensitive, because they're so crunchy. But those are one of my favorite like bulk snacks to buy. I've definitely never made them, Baker. I'm curious how your journey turns out. Yeah, Mega, I did too. Yesterday was the day that I was like basically online. Saturday I was useless. I didn't do anything on Saturday. I just came back. We were on traveling for the past 2 weeks and I came back on Friday. So Saturday I was useless. Yesterday I was on my computer a bunch. So that was kind of nice. Tabolo Toblerone, welcome in. Hello. Hello. Welcome. Good to see you. Okay, we have corn, we have leek. I'm using a recipe, but I'm using a recipe only insofar as I'm adding more stuff to this than the recipe calls for. This is a straight up corn risotto recipe. I am adding asparagus to it. in addition to mushrooms. Okay, my stock here looks good. It is still just heating up. So we're gonna do, yeah, we're gonna do probably half of this asparagus in here, and I'm gonna save the other half because this is a lot of asparagus. I didn't actually intend to do asparagus today. I wanted to. I didn't have it at the farmer's market, but I got this asparagus from a produce store that I love. In Center City. I was shopping today for some ingredients for tomorrow's dish. I was not able to find the ingredient that I was looking for, but I did find asparagus at one of the places, which was nice because I was not planning on using it, even though Gwen said she wanted asparagus risotto. Anyway, now we have it and we're using it, so it's good. Mushroom, shallots, and a mix of pecorino romano and parmigiano reggiano. After it's cooked, I add basil. Yeah, and I have the basil on the counter behind me today so that when I look over at it at the end of stream, after I've already been like, here's my dish, I can feel bad because I want to add basil to it. So here's hoping that I remember. Here's speculating that I will not. We'll see. Mega traveling is always fun. Yeah, it is fun. I like it. I don't travel. I'm not a frequent traveler. I'm a camper, so I take my son camping regularly in the mid-Atlantic area, which I don't know if that counts as travel or not. I don't think so. Because usually when someone's like saying they're traveling, that usually means like they're going to France or Europe or like somewhere exotic, which I don't often do. I've only been to Europe. This was only the second time I went to Europe, and the first time I was 20. So traveling to the Caribbean, right? That makes sense. Especially coming from Buffalo. I can imagine. I traveled to Toronto in January this past year, and I can confirm that it was worth leaving. It was nice. I had a good time there. But like it had snowed a lot like 2 days before I arrived there, and so walking around, which is my favorite thing to do when I go to a new when I go somewhere, my favorite thing to do is walk around. Toronto's not a new city for me. I've been there several times, but did not get to walk around as much as I wanted to because of said snow. What nut do I usually use in your pesto? Pecans, pine nuts. I usually honestly use like whatever I have available. Most often I use pecans. The last time I made pesto, I used pine nuts. Last time I made pesto, I actually did like a regular basil pesto, which is not what I usually do. I usually have either pecans or walnuts around. So I would say probably 70 to 80% of the pesto I make is with pecans. I do love pine nuts though. The last one I made, I put all the pine nuts in because I was in like big use it up mode, and it was very pine nutty. So they are the typical nut used in like your regular basil pesto. I also like pistachios in my pesto. A recent development in my palate. Baker says, my idea of exotic is leaving the house in general. Yeah, and I'm not like, I mean, mainly it's like the big part of it is just like financial, you know. Yeah. Vacationing doesn't happen very often because it requires like money to do that. I like to go camping nearby where I am, which requires a lot less money. renting a campsite is a lot cheaper than buying a plane ticket. So that is a fact. Let's get this rice out. I just want to make sure I have the right amount here. I also know that I don't want to rinse this rice because part of the value in this, okay, that's about 2 cups. Yeah, that's about 2 cups. There's a little more than 2 cups, but like a little more is fine. Dry white wine, which I should be able to get directly in hand because I cleaned out my cabinets. Cleaned out the cabinets recently, as you all well know, because you were there. So I need a cup of dry white. Megan says, do we finally have to reserve campsites with a lot of advance notice? Depending on the season. Right now, yeah. I did last night in my like large. Yesterday, I basically spent 10 straight hours on the computer catching up on stuff, and one of those things was doing some campsite reservations. And like there were some weekends in the campground. One of the campgrounds has like 400 sites in it, and I think there was like 10 open sites in one of them. So sometimes it depends. I like to go camping in like January, February, and in those months of the year, not at all easy. But yeah, definitely more difficult now. In the next like, September, October, November, it's hard. Lived in Clothing, thank you for the sub. I appreciate you. Thank you for using your Prime sub on this channel. You could use your Prime sub anywhere, and you chose to use it here, and I appreciate it very much. We love a Prime sub. If you are an Amazon Prime member, you have a free sub that you can use on any channel across Twitch. There should be a little button on your screen right about here, maybe here, somewhere like that, that will lead the way to subscribing with Prime. And we love a good Prime sub. 2 cups grated Parmesan cheese. I don't even know if this is 2 cups worth of Parmesan. I suspect not. Maybe it is though, because when it's grated, it takes up, more space than when it's in this dense chunk like this. We'll see. We will see. Regardless, Lived in Clothing, thank you for your sub. I appreciate you. Yeah, camping can be tough. Registering for campsites. Some of them I register real far ahead of time. Like we stay in the same campground every Memorial Day weekend, and I already booked that for next year. We do a cabin trip in January, and I booked that yesterday. But like, we're trying to do some camping this fall, and I hadn't booked any of it yet, and I had to do some. I had to do some additional research that I'm not used to doing for campsites. We go to, we've been camping a lot, and so I've gone to a lot of different campgrounds. Every time I go to a campground, this is my little pro tip. When you go camping, get one of the campground maps and just walk around and circle all of the sites that would look good or would suit your needs for your own camping requirements. And then when you are looking to book again in that campground, pull out that map and look at the campsites that you circled. That way you don't have to like look at pictures and look at what's available. You can just literally go down the list and pick a site that you know is good because you've looked at it. So I have done that for most of the campgrounds that we've gone to in the past. So it was a little easier to do that for me, but some of them that I was looking at yesterday. I had not done that before, and so it was a little, I'm always a little skeptical when I book a brand new campsite that I've never actually physically laid eyes on before. Especially if I'm planning to stay there for like 3 or 4 nights. Which we actually have two camping trips this fall that are 4-night camping trips. Just worked out that way. Thanks to the school system, the school district of Philadelphia, and their weird days off. Okay, so about 2 cups of cheese. That's good. Got 2 cups. This is, what kind of cheese is this? This is just straight up Parmesan cheese. Your Belgioso Parmesan. Parmesan John. And hopefully that's good. It does call for Parmesan cheese. So while I often like a mix, I'm just going with the recipe today because I didn't want to buy 2 types of cheese, because I just wanted to buy 1 piece of cheese. Heavy cream, minced chives, then we start stirring. And we're going to be spending a pretty significant amount of time at the stove today because this is risotto. Wait, mushrooms. Gwen, if you're watching, I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Not actually sorry per se, but I am aware that you don't really love mushrooms. But I do, and Calvin will eat them, so we're going to go with that today. Where is my toothbrush? There it is. My mushroom cleaning toothbrush. Need a little mushroom brush. I got the mushrooms. See, I was gonna be like, oh, I won't put them in, but like I literally got them so that I could use them in this risotto. Mainly because I thought I was only making corn risotto. Okay, hold on. Daisy's banging her nose at the door. Hey, you need to go pee? You can't hear me. You're deaf. She's banging her nose at the door, and Gwen hates when she pees in the basement, so as do I, really. But Gwen's the one that cleans it up because she's the one who uses the basement, and she's the one who notices it. So, there you go. Good girl. Okay. I say good girl, you can't hear me. You coming in? Nope, she's not coming in yet. Okay, she's gonna stay out there for a few moments because she also probably has to do something else. Either sniff around or like whatever. Let me cut these mushrooms and then we'll go let her in. She will remind me to let her in if she's out there for too long. So I'm not too worried that she's I'm gonna forget about it, because if I forget, she'll let me know. I will hear her bark. Okay. I'm going to cut these, you know, I'm going to cut these into slices, not small chunks, because I know that Gwen doesn't like them. I'm putting them in anyway, but if I cut them into slices, then she can pick them out easier. If I cut them into very small chunks, they will end up blending in with everything else. And, you know, just trying to be nice. Trying to be nice. Although the mushroom brushes look like fun. Or not mushroom brushes, the Opinel knives. I know the ones you're talking about. Those, I've never been like mushroom picking. So I haven't actually had the chance to like understand their like functionality. You know, like the curved blade has a specific function, which I'm pretty sure is just slicing the thing off at the ground level, right? There's 3 kinds growing in your closet, Avo. That's fun. One of the things that I want to do this fall, one of the things that we are doing will be to go to the Kennett Square Mushroom Festival. Kennett Square is the mushroom capital of the world. That's their claim, not mine. And we're going to visit, Kennett Square. Kennett Square hosts a mushroom festival every year. This year is the 40th annual mushroom festival, so it should be really fun. I was emailing with organizers yesterday. I should say that I emailed the organizers yesterday. I was not emailing with them. They did not reply, but I just emailed them yesterday. So I did not expect them to either. And I don't think there's anything special that I need to do there. I just want to make sure that if I show up with a camera that someone's not going to be like, where's your media pass? But I don't, I'm the one who thinks about that probably a lot. I feel like I see people with cameras all the time and stuff like that. And, my guess is nobody actually asked permission for anything. So, anyway, that should be a lot of fun. That is the weekend after Labor Day, whatever date that happens to be. I don't know. Oh, there she is. Daisy's barking to let her in. I got you, girl. Just a moment. Can't hear me. Doesn't matter. Okay. Let me go let her in, and then we should be good. I can slice up these green onions and parsley as things progress. We have about 40 minutes until 7 p.m. And that's great. Gwen has taken Calvin to karate. He and she will be back around 7 p.m. I don't think I'm actually going to finish at 7 p.m. That's not, that's not even my goal. That's not actually what's on the schedule. I think that on the schedule it says 7:45. So, we are going to make an attempt though, to keep this moving. Okay, I also need a half a cup of heavy cream. One of the things that I read about risotto in general is that it's helpful if all of the ingredients are the same, are like room temperature, like that nothing's super cold. So that's why I'm sort of getting everything out now. And that's what I usually do. So, okay, 2 tablespoons of minced chives. Let's read the instructions now because I have everything prepped, I believe. Same weekend as your annual trip to Los Angeles. Ah, but nice. What's in Los Angeles? Just fun. Annual trip leads me to believe that you have a ritual. What is your Los Angeles ritual? My next trip that's not camping will be TwitchCon. Which I'm very much looking forward to. Hopefully the world hasn't collapsed by then. And I say the world because I'm very American-centric. And I consider America to be the world in my head when I speak out loud sometimes. Okay. 500 people. A nerdy keyboard meetup. Super. I fucking love that. That's amazing. There's a lot of clicking. Where was I the other day? Oh, I had taken the car to get work like 2 months ago, and the guy at the place, the Subaru place, had like some why, like his office was so austere. There was nothing in it at all, but he had this like neon LED keyboard with these massive keys, and it was like very clicky. And I was like, it was funny because I was like, I didn't want to like say anything because I'm like, I don't know anything about keyboards, but I was like, this is a keyboard guy, gotta be. Food and friends from around the country, and the rest of the weekend to go do touristy stuff. I love that. That sounds perfect, amazing. Liz, welcome in. Thank you for your resub. I appreciate you. 34 months is a hell of a long time to be hanging out here. And it's good to have you. It's good to see you. A photographer, Eater. Nice. I've heard of Eater. 5 custom keyboards. You know, you're going to be so ashamed of me. I have this keyboard that I bought at Target when I first started streaming, and I don't even think I've ever replaced the battery in it, and the A key doesn't really work. That's it. That's other than the ones that are attached to my laptop. That's all I got. And yeah, it's in the kitchen, so I'm like, there's nothing fancy here. Bring the corn stock to a simmer. Keep it simmering as you prepare. Melt a tablespoon of butter in a wide, high-side saute pan over medium-low heat. Add leek and cook, stirring occasionally until softened. So we need butter and leeks. Season with salt and pepper. Right. Do I have pepper in here? Maybe. They're heavy and expensive. I've seen some neat-looking keyboards before. It's really fun. I mean, they're kind of fun. If you type regularly, which like most people do these days, but like, I don't know. I guess I would say like if you type at a desk regularly, that seems like it would be fun. I'm not often at a desk. Usually when I'm having computer time, I'm sitting at the kitchen counter. Like I'm sitting like over here on the counter. 10 pounds is super fucking heavy for a keyboard. that feels very, very cumbersome. Okay, we've refilled the pepper. The bottom is all brass. Damn! That's intense. Very steampunky. Okay, softened but not browned. Season with salt and pepper. Add the rice until the grains look slightly translucent. Pour in the wine and cook, stirring until it has all been absorbed. Add a ladleful of the hot corn stock to the rice mixture and cook, stirring constantly until the rice is absorbed with stock. Continue cooking, adding ladlefuls of stock whenever the rice mixture looks dry, and stirring continuously. When half the stock has been added, stir in the corn. So we're not only going to stir in the corn, we're also going to stir in the asparagus and the mushrooms at that point. Continue cooking until all the stock is incorporated. Corn is tender and rice is creamy and tender in about 30 to 40 minutes total. Remove. Forgot to put the rice on here. Okay. Remove the risotto from the heat and stir in the Parmesan and the remaining tablespoon of butter. Wait. No, 1 tablespoon of butter. Oh, okay, so I'm adding half the butter to begin. Yes, that's a good note. I feel like I'm gonna want more butter than this. So I'm just gonna cut the butter. Great. Butter has been cut. Remaining tablespoon of butter. Cover and let stand for 5 minutes. In an electric mixer, we're not doing any of this shit. This recipe calls for beating heavy cream at high speed until it holds stiff peaks. Stirring the risotto vigorously and seasoning to taste with salt and pepper immediately before serving, stir in the chives, and then gently fold in the cream. I'm not going to do that. I think I'm going to add the cream instead of some of the stock. Okay, good. This is straightforward. So there's that. Yeah, I'm going to add the cream instead of some of the stock just so it's like a little creamier, because that was important to Gwen. And also, I didn't realize that the cream was not a thing that you add as a liquid, that you're supposed to basically make whipped cream and add it in, which, like, y'all, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. As much as I think that it would be delicious, nay, as much as I know that it would be delicious, I am not going to do that. That's not the move today. So Fluff, enjoy your errand. I hope it is productive. I hope you find what you need. I hope it is an easy one for you. Let's stir some risotto. Okay. Here's 18 minutes until there's an ad break. We're just going to stir risotto during the ad break too, because at that point we'll just be stirring. So I was going to say we'll do that now, but I don't want to interrupt the flow. I bought myself today a bottle of sparkling water, because it is French. And I was like, I'd like a little bit of sparkling water. So I bought a sparkling water. Let's get this camera over here. Hopefully this camera works. It didn't work earlier. It was having a little bit of an issue. I shouldn't say that it didn't work. I should say that it took a moment to get working. And that was annoying. So let's see. Moment of truth. Da, 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 da. Hell yeah, does work. Okay, and let's. How's that for a view? There we go. Okay, that's our view for right now. Whoa, that was stupid because that's fucking hot down there. Okay, melt 1 tablespoon of butter. We're gonna melt 2 because we're doubling our recipe. Remember, doubling. Melt the tablespoons of butter in a wide, high-sided saute pan. This is not a saute pan. This is a Dutch oven. But my saute pan, I don't believe, is large enough to hold all of this. So we're gonna do it this way. Baker, the cats are great. The cats are good. Did I let Daisy in? I did. She's over. I'm like, did I let her in? Shit. I did let her in. She is over there on the floor. Wow, the white balance is weird on this camera. Let's take that down a little bit. Okay, that is a more accurate. That is a more accurate color scheme. And let's do that. Okay, good. Okay, yeah, she did bark her way in. You're right. Sorry, I'm just, like I said, I'm a little scattered today. This is the first day back. Add the leek and cook stirring occasionally. Leek into the pan. Now, this is the part where I want to salt and pepper as we go, because if I don't, whoa, little top just fell off my pepper grinder. Perfect. If I don't do that, I may not. Sparkling Jewel, welcome. Am I excited for Food Fight? I am. I am not participating in Food Fight this year as a contestant. So I would say I'm excited insofar as I'm really looking forward to watching Food Fight this year. Because I didn't I watched some of it last year, but I didn't watch a lot because I was actually like really nervous about it. Not nervous about my ability to do the thing, but just kind of nervous in general. It's intimidating having just very little time to like do the thing. And I'm so used to doing food that is like that I take a lot longer to do, that having like an hour and a half to cook a whole couple dishes felt scary, honestly. Are you participating? Did I see your name as a participant? All right. Well, this is not occasionally. No. Okay. I was going to say I saw some folks participating, but I don't know who all is participating this year. I am very much looking forward to it. I'm going to try to stream on Tuesdays throughout the rest of the month. Like I love streaming on Tuesday anyway. It's my like typical stream day. But I'm for any day that Food Fight is on that I'm streaming, that's where we're going to raid. Does that start tomorrow? I'm so bad. I'm very out of touch in the moment. Okay. Good. Okay, it does start tomorrow. Well, we will be raiding there tomorrow then. It is a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot last year, and I feel like I would love to chat with, like, you know how in some of those like cooking shows or whatever they have like a coach. I feel like this is season 3 for Food Fight now. I feel like after another season or two, there'll be enough people that there could be, I don't know. I feel like it's like the Hunger Games. Like I'll get sucked back in at some point. I prepared for it a lot. I was very, very, very thorough with my preparation. Probably not a surprise to anyone who's hung out on the stream for any amount of time. I'm not going to give any secrets away, but I did prepare. All right, these are looking good. We're at about almost 3 minutes. 3 minutes on the clock, so probably about 4 total minutes here. Softened but not browned. That's what we're going for here. Okay. I think that's probably good. These are definitely softened. I'm using a Dutch oven, this Dutch oven specifically, because I like this the shape of its bottom. The other Dutch oven I have is long, and it's kind of annoying to stir stuff like this in. Because it's like, mainly it's annoying to have on the burner because it doesn't stay hot equally. Okay, adding the rice. About a little more than 2 cups of rice here. And we're stirring until grains look slightly translucent. It's very entertaining to watch. I agree. Medium low heat. Okay, well I'm at a solid medium here. I'm also not using this calls for arborio rice. I'm using a different type of rice. Not because I think that I know better, but because this one says special for risotto. So I got this rice because it literally says that it's for risotto on it. So we're using that instead of what it called for. I got this in the Italian market. It is an Italian product. All right, it's 6:40 my time. Or was I nervous for the spin of death? I was very nervous. I felt prepared insofar as I was like, you know, each round, there was one or two categories that they replaced some categories for one. So I think if one gets, or maybe, I don't remember if they replace them or if they just take them off. There was a few where I was like, oh man, I don't want this category. And I forget what week it was, but there was one, I think it was the first week that I got a category that I just didn't want. That was what was the week one? Last year, week one was garlic and strawberries. And I made this like puff pastry thing with garlic whipped cream. I think that was it was like dessert. I forget what it was exactly, but I think it was week one that I got a category that I was like, oh man, this is the worst category for this. I hope it doesn't come up. And it was like, yup, here it is. But it was fun in general. I get nervous around all of that kind of stuff because I like to it's a very different vibe and approach than what I do generally for streaming / in life. I'm also not competitive, but I did not want to be embarrassed. So that my main goal was like, don't embarrass yourself. Goal number 2 was like, make sure everything is cooked. Goal number 3 was like, win. And I think that I achieved all of those goals. I know I achieved at least one of them. Because there's the trophy to prove it. Now, whether it was actually embarrassing or not, I have no idea. Baker, it was very fun. Dana and Robbie do such a good job. There's some folks in the food and drink community that are really wonderful organizers of community stuff like that. I would name a couple of them. I will name a couple of them. Dana's Kitchen is good with organizing. She's done Food Fight. This is year number 3 for Food Fight. John Leong, Chef John, does a really good job with collaborative types of things, kind of themed meals, dishes, etc. Serendipix and Lord Tox have been organizing the Minotaur challenges recently, which are super fun. I haven't participated in those. I would like to at some point. I keep like missing, I don't know, it hasn't lined up for me. Also, I generally cook like dinner and food for my family, so it doesn't always line up. But anyway, they're doing a really good job organizing a lot of different stuff for the food and drink community. I would say specifically those 3. And there's other folks that do, that do group stuff, collaborative stuff. In general, I think more recently, those 3 have been taking the lead on kind of doing a lot of things with the community. Black Rose Pixie, if you are part of the Food Fight, that would be amazing. I like I said, I think I get real nervous around things like that, and it was fun. Dana and Robbie do a really good job helping you too. If I could say any sort of like thing ahead of time, you know, and there's no technical issues because Robbie is very good with helping. And then they kind of helped, you know, they're very like putting, they help put you at ease. At least they did to me. And good luck. I would, if you'd like any advice, I'm very happy to share. As I mentioned, I prepped pretty aggressively because I didn't want to be surprised. I don't generally like surprises. So it was a bit. Okay, so this looks alrighty. Stirring into the grains looks slightly translucent. Maybe? I don't know. Did these look slightly translucent? Probably not. I don't know. I can't tell. They do look like they're browning though, which I don't necessarily want. Liz, thank you for the shout out. Tips and tricks. Pixie, thank you. Right. I'm sometimes I don't recall. Let's see. What would I say? I would say so. Well, probably not a surprise, but you do know both of the secret ingredients ahead of time. What I did for myself was I had like, hold on, pause. Pour in wine and cook, stirring until it's all been absorbed about 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna pour. Whoa! I'm gonna pour the wine in. I'm gonna turn this down. What I did was I thought of like 4 to 5 dishes for those ingredients, and then sort of figured how I could fit those dishes into the categories that I knew existed instead of like winging it. So like the one dish that I, you know, the one that was like garlic and strawberry, I had a couple dishes that included those, and the one that I wasn't super confident in was the dessert one, which ended up being okay, but like I had a couple other dishes there, and that was the same each week. I would also say that I think from a judging perspective, it was helpful that, like, especially like the final, I had the final ingredients were beef and molasses, and I had both in every single dish that I did. So like, even if it's a little weird, I think it's cool. I personally thought it was good to like try to include them. Like I did a dessert, right? And the dessert was re-tempered chocolate with molasses and beef jerky, which actually was really good. And I kind of want it again. Okay, are you all good now? We good? Okay. We're gonna have an ad here coming up in just a moment. So a little heads up. That is going to run. What I'm gonna do during the ad is just change this to just the stove camera and continue to stir as we add some ladlefuls of liquid in here. So we're gonna add the first ladleful now. And then we're going to go over to our ad break. So I have two extra cups of liquid in here. I just want to be conscious of that. And when we come back, maybe I can talk about some of the other things that I thought of making for the food fight dishes. All right, so here comes a quick ad break. We'll be back in just a few moments. Game Awards on stream. Maybe 2, and we will be right back.
Hi, welcome to another edition of Commercials I Hate.
don't want to change the white balance. I want to change the zoom. There it is. The zoom. All right, so we're literally just going to continue stirring this. And I'm at about 14 minutes total right now. So I don't want this to be soupy. The goal is not soupy. Okay. Could add a little salt and pepper to this too. Does this say to stir continuously? Stirring continue. Yes, it does. It does in fact say stir continuously. Okay. Great. All right, 30 seconds. Since we're not doing words on stream at the moment, or rather, it seems like folks are occupied. We're going to come back to the other screen here. I'm going to come back to this other screen here because we only have a few seconds left of our ad break. Let's come on back over here. Wait, wrong one. There we go. Okay. There we are. All right. Yeah, this is coming along. I have my stock in the back here. And we're just adding to it. I'm going to take, while I'm doing this, I'm also going to take these corn cobs out of my stock pot. So they're getting in the way of my ladle. I don't want that. I'm going to take those out. Now, I think the continuous stirring here is a nice left-handed practice. I am mainly stirring with my left hand. I'm not naturally left-handed, but it's a thing I'm working on. And stirring is one of those really unnatural motions to do with your non-dominant hand. So it's kind of fun to like have this experience. Okay. Put the corn cobs out. So I'm going to keep this. The goal is not soupy. The goal is just creamy. Now, what was I at? I was about 14 minutes when I started this. So we're going to add somewhere around 20 to 24 minutes. We're going to add the corn in here. I'm actually going to add all of the vegetables in here because they're uncooked at the moment. They're I made the decision not to cook the asparagus or the corn, or the corn I wasn't supposed to cook at all, but the asparagus and the mushrooms, they should cook in here. This is very like steamy. And if I let this sit for a moment, you can see it's like bubbling, little bits of air popping up through here. So I'm pretty sure that all of my vegetables are going to cook in here in like 10 to 15 minutes as we stir. I'm also glad that I added 2 additional cups of liquid to my stock pot, because the mushrooms that I'm going to add in here are going to absorb some of that liquid too. So I'm probably going to want, definitely going to want more than just the 6 cups that it called for, or 12 cups that it called for. Well, it called for 6. I'm doubling the recipe, so you know. But yeah, this is still like, this is, I would say, a little soupy. Once I add the vegetables, I'm going to add, we'll add some more salt and pepper in here. My stock that I'm using is homemade vegetable stock. It's not corn stock, so it has a bit more flavor to it. The recipe I'm using is mainly for like timing and volume of my standard ingredients, so volume of rice, liquid, wine, etc. Not really following it insofar as the ingredients. I'm adding some vegetables and all that, so I think just the extra liquid will be helpful. This is looking good. We've got a little rounded spoon going on here, which is nice. Helpful. This is the Andrew, my friend Drew. This is his stock pot, once again being called into service. Getty, welcome in. Hello. I keep wanting to say welcome back to people, but y'all didn't leave. I did. Welcome back to the stream that I am doing today. All right, one more little bit of stock in here. So we're going to add some liquid. When this bit of liquid is absorbed, we'll add the vegetables. So I'm at 22 total minutes. It says anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes for this. But there's really no specific end time. The end time is when the corn is tender and the rice is creamy and tender. So Food Fight starts tomorrow. Do we know who all is doing Food Fight? The roster, or roster bracket, I suppose. I think that I saw it posted somewhere, but I did not internalize it. So I will be curious. It'll be a surprise. It will be a surprise, but that's what we'll raid. We'll definitely raid there tomorrow. I don't know where we'll raid today, but we'll raid there tomorrow. The tomorrow's stream should be fun. Mind of Royce and Megabytes. Excellent. Excellent. I'm not a betting person, so I just hope everyone has fun. I just want everyone to have fun. I hope my main hope for stuff like that is that people feel good about themselves, or they feel good about what they did. Because like you don't get anything for winning. I mean, you get a small trophy, but you get a small trophy and you get a little bit of pride. But generally speaking, I love stuff like that. I think the food and drink community is really, really, really wonderful in a lot of ways, and I think people being supportive of each other is my favorite part about competitions and stuff like that, because you know, like the raid train yesterday was not really all about like the people who were participating like growing their channel, although people did. Okay, so when half the stock has been added, stir in the corn. Okay, has half the stock been added? I don't think half the stock has been added. Let's do one more round of stock here. Maybe a little bit more than that. There we go. Yeah. I'm happy in this community. I am as well. I think it's been really lovely to see the food and drink community grow. Like I've been streaming now for a little over 3 years. And when God, I sound so like venerated, but it's only been 3 years. But like when I started, there was a really great food and drink community, and it has only gotten better. Like it has gotten so much better and so much bigger. Like we have our own club now, like formal Twitch club. Like thanks to the hard work of a lot of people who are advocating for it, specifically Kanara, who was really, you know, but I love the food and drink community. A big reason that I love it is and no shade, absolutely no shade to anyone who's a partner on Twitch. Like, and would I happily like apply for partner if I had numbers? Sure, of course I would. But I love the food and drink community in part because most of the people who are in the food and drink community are not partners. They're not, you know, there's no like big, you know, and the people who are in the food and drink community who are partners are supportive of the folks who are not and are smaller. And, you know, the folks that are mid-size, like I think everyone is very supportive. And I really appreciate that. Like that raid train yesterday, you know, there were maybe, or not yesterday, but over the weekend, there were maybe like 3 people who were partners on Twitch participating in that. Like, that is kind of amazing. It was entertaining, Spark and Jewel. It was definitely entertaining. I had such a good time. I'm sad that I missed the first like day of it. But that was sort of, you know, unavoidable. I'm sad I missed the first day of it, but I do think that I was really glad to get to hang out yesterday. Okay, we're gonna add the asparagus. I'm gonna add the mushrooms. I didn't cut the asparagus tips up very much. I just sort of added them. Add the asparagus, add the mushrooms, add the corn. So fluff. It has evolved a ton. And I know, like, my initial experience in, you know, in the food and drink community, like my initial experience on Twitch, like I joined knowing that I wanted to just do cooking. Like, so I feel like I've had maybe a different arc than some folks. I feel like a lot of folks have come to the food and drink community from doing other stuff. totally missed the raid. Son was sick all weekend. Yeah, well, I mean, you got obligations there, and that makes sense. As always, there's no attendance policy. A lot of the folks have VODs, though, if you were interested in, like, scrubbing through some of those and seeing some of the final dishes. I also think that there's going to be some level of, like, after-the-fact video made of, like, some of the highlights, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe just wait and catch that. Yeah. Wasn't even on Twitch last weekend. Twinella says, yeah, I have not spent any time on Twitch in the past 2 weeks, personally. Which has felt weird, because I usually do. Spend a pretty significant amount of time on Twitch. Is my kid going to eat this? Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, he will be more enthusiastic about this than my partner, mainly because she's not a mushroom fan. But that's why I sliced the mushrooms in the way that I did, so that they are easily avoided. And hopefully I get some credit for that. But I'm going to get grief for putting them in at all. That much I know. Oh, summer camp germs, so fluff. Wait till school starts. God. Like, the first, 2 weeks of school are just the friggin' worst. Not that you're talking about school at the moment, but they are. But they are. Well, this is looking really good. One of the things that I read about with regard to risotto was not rinsing the rice, because rinsing the rice ends up making it you're removing the starches, and the starches are really what you want in this, so that it gets sticky. I got myself a little fork here because some of these mushrooms are still sticking together. But yeah, Calvin will definitely eat this. I mean, if it tastes good, he'll eat it. I should say. It should taste just fine. It's looking good. We're getting down. Probably got 3 or 4 more additions of liquid here. Oh, lid to my water fell off. Oh no. When I say additions, I mean stock. Got a little stock, some stock left in here. Now this is taking a little bit of time to come back up to temp, because adding all of those vegetables in there was a lot of cooler things. Wow, this is not a good view of the counter. We don't need that view anymore. We don't need the counter anymore on there, because there's nothing on the cutting board. Let's get in a little closer. Okay, much better. Production. But yeah, this is looking good. Looking good. Want to trying to avoid soupiness in our final product. So I've still got some liquid in here. So we're gonna keep stirring. I'm gonna keep stirring. It smells good. And like I said, I have 2 cups of extra liquid in this pot. So we may not use all the stock. Yeah, Jewel, he, from a really young age, like, I've just been cooking for him forever. And we ended up, like, when he first started solid food, I made, I made purees for him. I was really intentional about getting a lot of different flavors involved. The first puree he ever had was like sweet potato, but like the second puree he ever ate was beets, and then we did spinach. We did like some lemon in some of those things. So like, a little bit of spicy stuff. We really tried to incorporate a lot of different, I did anyway, a lot of different flavors, and he took to some of them and did not take to others. And like right now he's on a kick of like, I don't like onions, but I am on a kick of like, that's bullshit. And it's not bullshit that you don't like onions. It's like, yeah, that's a personal preference, but it is one of those things like, okay, you don't like onions. Well, how about like all the leeks that are in this risotto? Those are a type of allium. Did you like that? Well, then you don't hate onions because they're in there and they add a lot of flavor to it. So, maybe you don't like pickled red onions. That's fair. But we do. One of the things that I was pretty insistent on was like, you're going to try things when they're presented to you. I'm never going to make you like eat all of something, or like if you really have an adverse reaction, like we're not going to, I'm not going to be like, you have to eat all of your, your dinner. But I don't make separate meals, and we never have. And sometimes he likes stuff and sometimes he doesn't. And I just generally try to like make things that he likes with a little bit of a twist sometimes. Yeah, Baker, I forget who was talking about it, but it was basically like, yeah, someone yesterday was saying like, their parents were like clean plate club, which is like, hell no. There are some nights where I'm like, listen, you didn't eat very much. Like, we do dessert every night. We do snack every night. But like, if you're going to tell me, if you're going to like not eat something, right, then there's a chance that you're like, we're not going to do snack that night because, because whatever, because you didn't hate it, but like, I'm not going to let you eat like 3 bites of a piece of quiche that you didn't hate, but just don't really want, and then get like a big bowl of ice cream. Like, we're not going to do that. But like, I'm also not going to make you finish your plate. Pixie says, I think that was me. I think so. Probably. There was a couple times when I was a kid where it was like, you have to finish your meal. And I remember like being at a restaurant one time and being like, hell no, I'm not eating that. And like holding a piece of like a fucking roll in my mouth for like the entire car ride home because my mom was like, you gotta eat, and like, that's not ideal. You don't want to do that to a kid. So he's had some good exposure to food and a lot of positive reinforcement too. A lot of like, wow, other kids your age would never eat that. Wink, wink. You know what I mean? So like that type of thing is also really helpful. Megan, welcome. Hello. Good evening. Okay, I'm going to add to this in the next round. Well, here's what I'm going to do first. While this is simmering just a little bit, I'm going to take 2 cups of this stock and just transfer it to a cup measure. Because I want to know how much I have left from my like recipe versus what's left from the extra that I put in. Megan, it has been long. The last time I was live was like 2 weeks and some change ago. But that was expected. We took a family vacation to France. Went to Paris for 2 weeks. Well, not 2 weeks, 12 days. We went to Paris for 12 days. 11 full days in Europe. With several other family members. We got back on Friday, and today was the first day where I was like, I feel normal. So we're streaming. We're doing the thing. And it's good to see you. It was very exciting. It was a sort of a once-in-a-lifetime trip kind of thing. It was really funny because it was with Gwen's side of the family. Fudge Darling, welcome in. It was the trip to Paris was with Gwen's side of the family. Her sister used to lived in France for a year when she was in university, and has been sort of like always wanting to get back there, and wanted to get back there. And over the Christmas holiday, in last year, she mentioned that she was like planning a trip to go to France. She was like, me and her husband and their daughter were like gonna go. They were, planning this trip. And Gwen made this sort of offhanded remark and was like, haha, we're gonna crash your trip. Better watch out. And then I don't know, from that conversation, her sister was like, wait, are you serious? Because her sister's very genuine and also very kind. Anyway, and Gwen was like, yeah, maybe. And then we talked about it, and that's what happened. So it ended up being Gwen and Calvin and myself, her sister, her husband, our niece, Gwen's brother. I said our niece. Gwen's home to harass me. I've been intentional about saying it that way since you gave me shit about it, and let's not do that again.
So it worked.
Yeah, it worked. God. Fucking peanut gallery has arrived. Anyway, and ETA is 10 to 15 minutes. It's looking great.
Here in 25 to 50.
Baker, it's great to have you all back. Thanks, Baker. I appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, it's looking good though.
Green like the other one was.
You want it to be green? Get the food coloring. What do you mean green?
They didn't use food coloring. Get out of here.
What do you
Maybe
mean?
it was like pesto.
I mean, I could put a little drop of pesto in here.
I'm just saying.
Do you want it to be greener?
I don't know. I'm just saying it doesn't look like.
Get the pesto out of the fridge. It's on the shelf on the
What
left.
if that ruins the taste?
It's not going to ruin the taste. It's literally basil and olive oil.
You're happy that I say that's a great idea.
I do think
You're welcome.
it's a great idea. Baker says I miss this so much. That makes one of us. I don't like this shit. I don't like getting grief. God.
You say you love feedback.
I do love feedback, but constructive. I guess that's constructive. I don't know. Whatever. All right, we're stirring some pesto in. Hey, how does this look? Come tell me if this looks better.
Although I didn't say it was bad. I just said it didn't look like the pesto I had. Balloon.
Sorry, I heard your feedback as criticism.
Well, that is just something you should talk about in therapy.
I'm going to tomorrow. Trust me, I've got lots of notes.
Yes,
All right.
it looks good.
Better? More? Greener?
It's fine.
It's fine.
Maybe a little green.
Maybe a little greener? Okay.
Okay, fine.
Greener's fine. I mean, it's just pesto. I'm going to add basil to it anyway at the end. It's not like it's going to change the flavor monumentally. Okay. Okay, well, listen. I love using it up. So we're doing some good work here today. Anyway, it was a fun trip with all of them. It was fun, and there was a lot less grief given on that trip because we talked about it in advance. We talked about being supportive and making sure that our windows of tolerance were honored, etc. All right, this is feeling good and looking good. Looks like something that comes from Baby Jewel. It kind of does. I'm not gonna lie, but I think it should be all right. It's definitely starting to feel drier than it was a moment ago. Which end of a baby? Don't answer that, or do. I'm just kidding. Probably both. Why not both? All right. I think it's time to taste this. The pesto paste. The pesto, yeah, that pesto is actually a little bit dry right now. That's one of the things I left in the fridge during the trip. I cleaned out the fridge of like almost everything that was could or would expire, but the pesto I kept. You know, I was gonna make like a big salad with this tonight. I was thinking about doing some bread with this tonight, but like, I'm just gonna eat this. I think that's fine. Okay. Turn that down for a moment. Get a little spoon here and get a taste. Let's make sure I get a little of everything in here. Okay. Mm-hmm. Whoa, boy. That is really good. Eat your salad for dinner. I wanted a salad with this. I could still make a salad. I just have a bag of greens in there. Wouldn't be hard. I might still do that actually. I think I'll have like a big bowl of this and I'll just throw some greens in it afterward. Eat those. Okay, so that is pretty well on. I think it's time to add a little bit of... I'm going to add a little bit of cream to this. So I'm going to add the cream that was to be whipped in as whipped cream. So I'm adding that. We'll let that cook in just a little bit. And then we'll add the cheese. Okay, so this says to have you add the Parmesan and the remaining butter. You stir that in, and then you cover it and let it sit. So let's give this a few more moments here. We're at 47 minutes total since I first applied heat to this dish. It was initially the butter and leek. Then we added the rice. Then we added the wine. So this has come a long way. We're almost there. There's a little bit of liquid left in this pot, maybe a cup or so. Of liquid. I'm going to add just a little bit more liquid to this because it's starting to feel, I know it looks really liquidy, but it is starting to feel relatively dry on the bottom. I'm starting to get things sticking. Okay, so just adding that liquid in. I'm going to stir in the Parmesan next. It's looking all right. Like it doesn't, you know, it's really kind of thick, which is great. But that is not like a soup. When you move the spoon through the pot, it's, you can see like a little bit of, it leaves a little bit of space behind it for just a moment. It is like an oatmeal. That's right. Luke Skywalker, welcome in. Thank you for the welcome back. I'm glad to see you too. We're trying to get back onto a regular schedule. Like I said earlier, much earlier in stream, August is difficult. January, June, and August are the most weird, or have the most erratic schedule for me. So we're in August now, obviously. So the next couple weeks are going to be a little bit weird. I'm going to continue to post. I'm going to keep the schedule updated on Twitch. I'll keep it updated in Discord, and we'll try to settle back in once the school year really sets in. Try to settle back into an actual routine. But I am back. We have a couple streams this week. One tomorrow, that's the normal stream time for the normal stream amount of time, which is to say right around 1 p.m. for about 6 or 7 hours. So we're going to be doing a couple things tomorrow. Friday, I'm hoping to do an IRL stream. May end up in the kitchen on Friday, but I don't know. All right. Woof. Okay, turning the heat off on that now. We're going to stir in the Parmesan. And the butter. So let's add this butter. That is nice and soft. I'm going to stir that in first. Yeah, Baker, I'm happy to be back. I really enjoy this part of my day. And I generally... I like having a schedule. I'm a very, probably not surprising, but I'm a very schedule-oriented person. So having a schedule is really helpful for me. Okay, now we're going to stir the Parmesan in. There we go. And then we let this sit for covered for about 5 minutes, it says. So stir. Make sure we get all that off the side. Make sure I get it off the spoon. All right, final flavor test. Flavor taste. Let's see, we got corn, we got asparagus. Get a little mushroom on there. I mean, that's pretty thick. Like, I can flip that spoon over. Oh, not entirely. I can flip it over at least once before it falls off. Which also means that this is probably super fucking hot. There's a piece of corn silk. All right, let's give it a try. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, hell yeah. That is fucking good. That is really good. That is really good. And very importantly, there's a lot of it. All right. Come on back over this way. Hold on. Let me take, I'm going to zoom out on that. Let's zoom out on that one, not that you can see. Let's get this one back to where it goes. All right. We're going to take this off the heat. We're going to put it on the counter for a few minutes while we're doing that. Can I hold this by the handles for a brief moment? Yes, I can. Fuck, that's hot. Okay. Let's get... I said one final taste, but like, let me get one. I feel like this needs more black pepper. You know what this is missing? Not really. I kind of wish I'd have added more white wine to this. I'm not going to now, but I wish I had. Devins, welcome. Risotto last week. What was yours? What was your risotto? This was, this one is corn, asparagus, and cremini mushrooms. We had risotto, or my partner, Gwen, had risotto several times over the past 2 weeks and enjoyed it, and had asked me for it prior to that. And so I wanted to indulge that today. So thank you for the shout out. Okay. Now, I am not going to add, remember when I was like, don't let me forget to add the basil. I'm not going to add the basil because I wanted to add the basil for flavor. However, I added like 5 tablespoons. No, more than that. I added several large spoonfuls of basil pesto into here instead. So we're going to hold off on the actual basil. I am going to pull off a couple pieces of parsley though, because they will look nice for a photo. As a garnish. I'm going to let this sit for just a moment here. It says, cover and let stand for 5 minutes. Okay, we're doing that. Stir in the chives, it says. Oh, chives. Right. Okay, let's do that. So I got some garnish, parsley garnish here. Let me cut up some chives. By chives, I have green onion, so that's what we're going to use. I know that they're not exactly the same thing, but like close enough. Deal with it. Stock bag. Chives are here. I'll cut up 2 of these green onions. I bought these green onions for tomorrow's recipe, so I don't want to go overboard, but this goes back in too. All right. Okay, parsley, some garnish parsley here. OB, no, 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 no. Good boy. He listened. Damn. One of the cats was making very sincere effort at getting up on the counter and in a shocking twist has listened to me and is not doing that. He's literally waiting. He's waiting until I turn her, I'm pretty sure. Megan, should we remind you about the basil? You know, yes, yeah, just like improv, yes, and I ended up adding a bunch of basil pesto to it. So I don't think I want to add the basil to it. What I will do, what I'm thinking now, is I have like some garnish for these. I'll use a little bit of basil as garnish. OB. but I added. Gwen said her feedback was it's not as green as the one that she had, and the thought was the one that she had pesto in it. So while the basil was for flavor, but we are getting the basil flavor from we're getting the basil flavor from the pesto this time. Is it time for the water? Jewel, no. We actually are, you mean the spray, like a spray bottle for the cats? Actually not doing that. That was something that I wanted to do, and Gwen was like, you know, I don't think that's good. I don't think it's helpful. So I did some research, and Jackson Galaxy, the cat person, whatever his name is, I forget. He has like a name, some specific, like, I don't know, internet name. Was like, it's not effective. Like, they don't actually learn from that. So I'm not doing it. But these cats are weird. They are actually not bad listeners. I say that now. One of them is literally like watching me. He's on the chair over there, and he's just like, he's giving me the eye. Pretty soon, this is going to turn into like a Nurse Huckleberry situation where the cat's just going to be sitting next to me on the chair. Maybe. We'll see. That would be fun. If I could like have, I'd love to have like a little like thing. Maybe they could just sit here in a basket and watch. When you said, is it time for the water? Were you asking about these? If so, yes. There we go. Here we are. So we're going to stir that in. We'll get some basil garnish, and then we'll be ready to put this in a bowl. No, for the cats. Got it. Yeah, Megan, sometimes I'm not paying attention either, and like I'm the one doing the thing. So it happens. Shayna, it is it's come together. We've done good. We've got a pot of risotto here that looks and smells wonderful. Let's get a little bit of, we have some parsley for garnish. Let's get a little basil. I kind of just want to put like the leafy top of the basil like this. I just want to put like the sprig of basil. I don't want to do like chiffonade or anything like that. I just want to like put a couple pieces with like the little stem on them. So let's find a good 3 good pieces here. There we go. 3 good garnet. I'm gonna put this back on the counter over here. And while I'm letting that sit still, I'm going to take the stock on the stove and pour it back into one of the containers. Because we're just letting that risotto soak for a few minutes here. Come on. All right, perfect. There's like a little teeny little bit left in that, and it's filled with corn kernels. So we're gonna let that one, I'm gonna charge that one to the game and put a lid on this, and it can go back in the fridge. Aw, Leo. I love a lap dog. Homemade chips and salsa, Shayna? That sounds indulgent. Homemade chips, I have only made homemade potato chips once, ever. and they were so good. They were like a little different than regular potato chips, and in a really good way. What did I make chips for? It was something on stream. Some sort of seafood thing. I don't remember. I don't remember. Gone. Okay. We're at the part where I need to stir in the chives, then gently fold in the cream. We're not using any cream today. I put the cream in here already. It calls for adding whipped cream to this, which I'm not doing. It calls for whipping the cream and then adding it. But we're not going to do that because that felt a bit extra, and like it just felt like a lot. I was like, nah, we're not going to do that. We don't need to do that. So we're going to add the green onion in / chive, whatever you want to call it. I know it's not actually a chive, it's green onion. It's fine. It's fine. Use tortillas. Hell yeah. That's even better. Homemade tortilla chips are phenomenal. I made homemade tortilla chips. The last time I made tortillas, and I was making fish tacos, and I deep fried a couple of them. And it was so good. And I was like, why didn't I make more of these? Jewel, she is, the dog that just came by is actually a pit bull. You're forgiven, obviously. It's a very, very similar in color to a golden lab. But she is roaming around looking for whatever might have fallen on the ground. You're totally forgiven because it's probably the only part of her you saw was like her back, like some sort of leviathan coming out of the sea. Okay, I'm gonna put this risotto. I'm gonna serve this in these bowls today. These are a bit, I don't know, a bit more interesting to look at, and then sort of lay the risotto out inside of it, and I don't know, because I wanted to serve them in these bowls. Shayna, Gwen and Calvin are great. We had a very successful trip together, which was good. I think we were all a little bit nervous that it might, not like nervous, but a little like anxious about spending so much time, not just together, but like with so many people, specifically like family member people and not like friends, right? I don't probably need to tell y'all, there is a very big difference between spending time with family and spending time with friends. And usually that difference is the amount of information that you are willing to share about yourself and your activities. So, it was good. It worked out really well. We all had a good time. And everybody came home happy and not mad at each other. So we love that. Dude Mesa, welcome. Hello. Yeah, Gwen got a haircut. She got bangs, dyed it again, more darker. So she looks good. Looked good. Had a good time. We're all pretty in need of some like alone time when we came back though. That's probably, you spend a significant amount of time traveling and doing lots of activities all day, every day for 2 weeks, then you sort of like come home and you go to your corners. All right, Elsie, no. Elsie, no. Okay. Elsie was just like, stop. Where did I put my phone? There it is. Photo time. Does Gwen get her nails done too? She does not. She does not. That is not part of her regular routine. I got mine done specifically for this trip. I'd been sort of holding off on having them. All right. Hey, here's what we made for dinner tonight. Y'all want to see? I did do a nail stream once. This is a risotto. It has, among other things, corn, leeks, yes, corn, leeks, asparagus, cremini mushrooms. What kind of rice is this? Campanini rice, Parmesan cheese, heavy cream, and then I used a vegetable stock and not a corn stock in this. And then for the sake of giving you a separate view with a better camera, that is a better view with a better camera. Here's a YouTube thumbnail. Anyway, put the risen risotto. Okay, that's a good one. I like that one. You had your head yacked off, Shayna. Yeah. Everyone had a good time. This was a good trip. There was enough people there that they could be, there's always someone to talk to if you wanted to, and there was always plenty of time. There was plenty of time to like have space to yourself, and you weren't, I don't want to say you weren't missed, but like you weren't needed. Oh, hell yeah. That is really fucking good. That is really good. I'm really happy with it. My only note is maybe like a little bit more wine, but I'm gonna eat this entire bowl and probably 2 more after that. I'm glad I literally doubled this recipe, and I'm glad that I did. Let's also write down the red wine note. Let me find my pen. Hey, pen. Where did you go? I had it. Now it's gone. Okay. Glenn, dinner is ready. And we can eat in just a minute here, okay? I'm just going to write more equals better next to the white one. Why isn't it in my hat? I don't know. I'm not wearing a hat with like one of these on it today. Oh, here it is. It was on the dish rack. Obviously, where all pens go. The dish draining pan, not rack. Whatever. Language. See, but now I have 2. And now we can start refilling the container of pens that I emptied in order to go places. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. That is one of the better things that I've made. That's one of the best things I've made this month. I didn't cook at all. And I haven't cooked. The last time I cooked, you all saw me cook. So it's been a little bit. Last time I made a meal was the week before we left. But the last time I actually like cooked anything, probably 3 weeks ago. Because the week before we left, I didn't do any new cooking. It was all like leftover stuff, which was great and necessary. Okay, let's find a place to raid today. You know what we have now? Oh, I love this. Okay, I think, hold on. It's Monday. I forgot that it's Monday, and there's people streaming who I don't usually get to see or even raid. So hold on, I just opened the food and drink category like 5 times. Not great. We also have a food and drink club now. Let's see, how do I look at the people who are the people? I opened my own stream. Oh, I don't want to do that. I just want to look at my profile because I know I'm linked. I know I have this thing linked. It is Monday. There we go. Creator Club, food and drink. Here we are. Perfect. Amazing. Let's go. I think I know who I want to raid. Oh no. Okay. Yes, I do know who I want to raid. Beautiful. Okay. We are going to raid Chris Hangry today. Chris is a member of the food and drink team. He is they're, I believe, doing meal prep. Yes, they're doing meal prep. Chris is a really awesome human, and I think I appreciate seeing all the things that Chris makes. The meal prep is fantastic. So we're gonna go there. Who watched the animals? We had a house sitter, someone who was one of Gwen's coworkers. She watched the house as well as the cats and Daisy, and was sad to leave. But she did have to leave. So excuse me. Anyway, we're gonna go raid Chris Hangry. It is meal prep Monday. They're making salmon meatballs. Looks like making salmon right now. Actually, looks like they're making scallion pancakes right now. So let's start this raid. Beautiful. Wait, start. Click the button. There you go. All right. We have some raid messages in chat as well as here we go. Hold on. Here's some social media stuff where you can find me elsewhere on the internet. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is making a couple different things on stream. We're going to be doing lentil salad. We're also going to be doing caramel corn tomorrow, so a little dessert. The caramel corn is something I'd like to work on a specific recipe for. So I'm making sort of an initial pass at caramel corn using honey instead of Karo syrup. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow. I believe the stream time is 1 p.m. I could be wrong. It could be earlier. It might be later. But, you know, if you pop in the afternoon, we'll be here. I hope you all had a good one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming back. I appreciate you all hanging out today. It was the first stream back. I think it went well. Anyway, I finished dinner. I finished roughly about the time I thought I would finish. And it was good. So, A+. See you again soon. If I don't see you tomorrow, perhaps I will see you in chat sometime. Thank you for coming back. Well, I appreciate you all still being here. All right. See you later.
Don't just say goodbye.